Hello and welcome back to the Weekend Gardener. The plan for today is to tidy out the greenhouse and the polytunnel. The polytunnel, everything's starting to rot inside it. The fruit's not really ripening, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take out all the plants, harvest what little bit I can. There's a few bell peppers and a few things like that. Not a huge amount really, so I'm going to get that all tidied up. I'll film if I can, but unfortunately I can't find my tripod. I've had a look on both plots and it's in neither shed. So I've absolutely no idea where that's gone. So I'll have to see if I can set something up, rest it on a broom or a brick or something like that to film with. There's a few bell peppers that are ready to go. A couple of tomatoes, but these aren't really ripening enough. And all the stems are starting to rot. So I don't think I'm going to get anything else. I don't mind green peppers anyway. So I'll take off what I can. Take everything out. I'm going to dig out the raspberries which have found their way in. I'm going to cover it all over with a fresh layer of compost. I might rake the wood chippings off as best I can, put away the soaker hose and just get everything neat and tidy, ready for next year. Right, so I'm just going to have one final look for the tripod, and if not, I'm going to have to fashion a device. I think I've learnt my lesson there. Don't plant raspberries outside your polytunnel because they'll grow through. And these are all the roots that I've got out. So pretty close. So I'm going to bag them up. I'm not going to put them in the compost because they'll only start growing again. I've only managed to get half the polytunnel done today. It's taken a lot longer than I expected, with the amount of raspberry roots that were in the bed, but it's done now. I'd rather spend the time and do one side properly than rush to try and get them both done and do a poor job. So that side's done now, and hopefully this side will not take anywhere near as long because I haven't got to dig the entire bed over to dig out raspberry roots. So that's a job for tomorrow. So I'm going to pop home now and have my lunch because it's 2 o'clock and I've been down here since 9 and I'm absolutely starving. So, all things being well, I shall see you again bright and early tomorrow morning. Hello and welcome back to another weekend with the Weekend Gardener. I'm in the polytunnel at the moment and it's looking a little bit sparse. I'll just show you around what I did last Sunday. I forgot to bring my camera down with me, so I didn't record it, but all I did basically was take all of the tomatoes from the one side of the tunnel. I left a few of the peppers in, and I found some cabbages that I forgot to plant earlier on. They're probably a little bit pot banned and they may not survive, but I've popped them in anyway. And I'm going to go up to the second plot in a minute and see if I can sort out the beds up there to get that ready. So there's one of the peppers, that's Corno de Toro Rosso, and I believe these two are the same. They've only got 1 or 2 peppers on each. And these are the brassicas. that I found. They were just at the back of one of the trays. They've been probably sat there for a couple of months. I never put them out, so I've just popped them in. And if they grow, they grow. If they don't, it's not the end of the world. And there's one aubergine there that was in amongst all the rest of the tomatoes. So when I took them out, I just left it in. Again, it probably won't grow, but I'll just leave it in. So that's the polytunnel looking pretty empty, and all the leaves are starting to turn on the grapevine. So it'll give me a chance to get that tied up properly over the coming weeks. So I'm just going to pop up to the second plot now, and we can have a look at tidying up that. This is the area that I want to get tidied up today. It was 3 panlet collar beds that had flowers in, mainly dahlias. So I'm going to just going to take the tops off the dahlias at the moment. I shall take the root balls and the tubers out over the next week or so. I'm off work next week, so that'll be a nice little job to pop down during the day and do. So at the moment I just want to take off all the dead flower heads, trim it down and sort out the thornless blackberry, which is getting a little bit out of control. So I'll pop it onto time lapse and we can get all that tidied up. Virtually no time at all to sort these beds out, so I decided to take the dahlias out. But as you can see, there's mice or something been burrowing under here. Most of them have been tunnels have been knocked in as I've been working, but you can see where they've been digging underneath it. So these are the dahlia tubers that I've got. Some are better than others. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to rinse them out in the water barrel up there, because the tap's been turned off for the winter. I'm going to let them dry out in the greenhouse, and then I'm going to put them in a cardboard box, wrap them in newspaper and overwinter them. But I'm not going to take them home, because I took some home last year and they got thrown away when we tidied the garage out. So I'm taking no chances. They can stop at the allotment this year. They should be okay in the shed. If they're well insulated enough, I can keep an eye on them. Yeah, so this is the final bed on this second plot that needs sorting out. I've got some collard greens in there, which I'm looking forward to trying. A couple of sprout plants, which haven't done much really. Some really nice cabbages. Hoping I should get a decent harvest of them, and some over here that they've never done really well. I think it's the problem is the slugs are hiding in the gaps where the raised beds end, and they're just making their way in and munching whatever I put in there. So if I can get anything out of this bed, I'll be happy. I should get some nice cabbages. Slowly making progress. That's the brassica bed all cleared out. I've just left the sprouts in there for now. So that's pretty much this plot, bar a little bit of tidying up and winter maintenance. All done and ready for next year. I've still got a few brassicas in there, a couple of sprouts. But yeah, everything's looking good. But I've done more than enough. Oh, I'll just show you the these are the cabbages that I've got out. The collard greens, most of it was absolutely infested with whiteflies. You can still see there's quite a lot on there, but I'm thinking that'll probably wash off. But the cabbage, the white cabbage that's done really well, is a variety called Killerton. So I should definitely be growing them again next year. There was no club root or anything on those, and I've had club root in that bed on other brassicas, So they're a winner for this year. And these are the 3 red cabbage that I got out of the other beds. So that's another little harvest to take home later in the season. So I'm just going to tidy up, sweep up the last bits of rubbish, and then I'm going to head home and then come back down tomorrow. It's Sunday afternoon, around about 3 o'clock, and I've just popped up. I've given the paths the last mow of the year, just to tidy things up. There's still a few little things that need sorting out, but this second plot now is pretty much done. All I've got to do is, when I harvest the sprouts, is cover that bed over. But it's looking a lot neater and ready for next year. Certainly makes a difference when you get the path sorted out. Makes everything look a lot neater. And I've also got a load of grass now that I can put into the compost. I'm going to turn the compost over in the on the other plot, which is always a little bit daunting because you tend to find rats have nested in there. So I've no doubt a couple will jump out on me. So I'm just going to get all this grass mixed in, then hopefully we'll have some decent compost for next year. There you go, that's a perfect example of where the rats are getting in. They've just chewed through the insulation. I suppose I've made them a perfect habitat. It's warm and dry, perfect for them really. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to empty everything out of here and pop it into here. Then I'll have double the volume, so it should heat up nicely. And there we go, there's another hole. Something's chewed through to get inside. So I've given it a good shake, and I've put the fork in a couple of times, so hopefully there won't be anything in there. But yeah, I'm just going to get this all turned over into here, and then we'll be good for the weekend. So I'm about halfway down now. I've just taken the front off the compost bay, and this isn't far off being ready. I certainly think by spring this will be ready to spread onto the beds, and what's in the other side with the heat from the grass should rot down nicely, let the worms do their work, and then come next year I'm going to have a lovely pile of compost. So I'll just get this finished off and capped off. And luckily there were no furry friends in the compost heap, so I've got that all turned over, covered over and insulated. And that's all for this week. I'd like to say thank you for watching, and I hope to see you again next week. Thank you very much, and goodbye.